Hey everyone, so the first thing I'm going to go in with today is my Smashbox Photo Finish Priming Water, and this stuff is really hydrating before you put your makeup on. And then I'm going to use my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, and I love putting this anywhere where I want to minimize pores, and I like to pat that in. And then I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer on the rest of the face, and a good dupe for this is the NYX Angel Veil. And then I'm going to be taking my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer and just apply that under my eyes where I want to conceal any dark circles. And I love the formula of this. Even though it feels kind of like a thick gummy-like texture, it applies beautifully and blends out really nicely and does a great job at hiding under eye circles. And then I'm going to take my Makeup Forever HD foundation sticks, and I'm just mixing two shades. And this is one of my favorite foundations, not only because it's really easy to travel with, but also because it always looks really beautiful on the skin and lasts me a very long time throughout the day. Now taking my Farsali Rose Gold Elixir, I'm just going to shake that up really well because not only is this a beauty oil, but this product also has particles of gold in it. So you just want to make sure that it's mixed together really good before applying it, and that's what's going to give you that radiant glow. If you have more oily skin, you can always skip this step, but for the most part my skin stays more on the normal to dry side, so I like to add kind of a dewy finish to my foundations. And using a Morphe E6 brush, I'm just going to blend everything out. And now I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick in the shade Mink, and I use this as a contour shade instead of a foundation. And with my MAC 130 stippling brush, I'm just going to buff that product out. And I'm just going to be blending that in mostly circular motions. Next, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm so obsessed with this concealer. I honestly haven't been using any other concealer since I've tried it. I just have a hard time putting it down. I feel like it's just the best concealer I've ever used. It blends out so nicely and it has such a good full coverage. And I like to use my Real Techniques Beauty Blender sponge. And with that, I'm just blending out any of the product that we placed down on the forehead, under the eyes, on our nose, and on our chin. And using my Dermablend translucent powder, I'm just going to be taking my Sigma 3D HD blender, and with that I'm just going to apply it under the eyes where we put our concealer just to set it. And I like to do that as soon as possible to prevent any creasing. And I really love this beauty blender because it just has really cool angles on it, so it allows you to get a really nice precise application. And with my e.l.f. blush brush, I'm just going to pat that in and swipe the product away. I like to pat it first and then wipe it away. And I don't really bake for too long because under my eyes tend to be a little bit more dry, so I kind of go on with this step almost immediately after I put the powder under my eyes. And then I'm taking my BECCA Multitasking Perfecting Powder, and this is in the shade Tan, and also my Morphe M143 brush, and I'm just going to be contouring over our cream contour. And anytime you place a powder over a cream, it's going to kind of intensify what you were applying before. So I wanted to go for a more intense contour today, so that's why I went in with a powder afterwards. This is not a necessary step, but if you want a more intense contour, then this is the way to do it. And I really love how this brush makes it so much easier to apply. And then going back in with that Sigma 3D HD blender, I'm just going to clean up our contour line. And this is pretty much the only area on my face that I like to bake. And for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Guerlain Terracotta Bronzer. And I really like how easy this is to blend. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M527 brush just to blend that out, and this is just going to warm up our face, and I like to blend that down my neck as well. And then I'm going to be using my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot as an eyeshadow primer, and this is just going to act as a base for any of the shadows that we go down with. If you have more fair skin or pink undertones in your skin, you might like the Painterly Paint Pot. That would be a good option for you. And I'm using a Real Techniques brush to blend that out. And taking my Sigma E40 blending brush, I'm just going to use that to blend out MAKEUPGEEK Peach Smoothie into my crease in windshield wiper and circular motions. And I love using this color as a transition shade for any eyeshadow look because it just kind of makes it easier to blend out shadows later. Then I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade Milk and just apply that kind of to the center of my lids where I'm going to apply my eyeshadow afterwards. And since I'm going in with a white eyeshadow later, this is just going to kind of act as a base to kind of intensify the color of that shadow. And I'm going to use my Sigma Concealer F75 brush to blend that out. And I do have a coupon code with them as well, which I'll link down below for those of you who are interested, and you can receive 10% off all items on their site. And now I'm going to go in with my Morphe M441 brush. And I actually decided to take this kind of object. You could take a piece of paper, whatever you want, that just has a flat edge. And what this is going to do is kind of act as if we put tape down and give me a clean outer edge without messing up the foundation I put on already. And Anastasia Beverly Hills Burnt Orange Shadow. And then I'm taking the color Blanc, which is also by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm just going to place that down as our lid color. And I'm using this flat brush. This one doesn't have a name. I'm not exactly sure where I got it, but you can just use any flat brush that you want. And then I'm going to be taking Sienna, which is also an Anastasia Beverly Hills shadow, and I'm using my Morphe E17 brush to kind of blend that into my outer crease. And I want to keep the color as low as possible. You can see I'm not taking it up too high because sometimes when you do that, it can make the look seem kind of muddy. And we want to avoid that, so I'm keeping it just on my lower outer crease. And this color is so beautiful, and it's just going to add some kind of darkness and depth to the look. And then I'm taking Hot Chocolate, also by Anastasia. You can tell I love her eyeshadows. I pretty much use 90% Anastasia and MAKEUPGEEK shadows. Those are just some of my absolute favorite formulas. And I'm using that same Morphe E17 brush and just placing that pretty much exactly where we placed that Sienna color. And after that, I used my Morphe M433 brush just to kind of blend that out a little bit better. Then I went in with Ice Queen by MAKEUPGEEK, and this is such a pretty pigmented color, and I went in with this because I wanted to kind of brighten up our lid color, and I'm using my MAC 213 brush for this. And then I went in with Anastasia Deep Brown, and I'm using my Morphe M321 brush for this. I didn't want to do a wing liner today because I wanted to keep the look kind of soft and wearable, so a great way to do that is by using a shadow instead. Then with my MAC 239 brush, I went in with more of that Anastasia Blanc color just to highlight my brow bone. And I love that this color didn't have a lot of shimmer to it, so it made a nice matte highlight. Then taking my Sigma E15 flat definer brush, I'm placing those dark colors we placed on our outer corner underneath the eye as well. And then I'm going to go in with my Morphe M321 brush and some of that crease color that we had and blend that under the eyes. Then I'm taking my Sigma flat definer brush again and some more of those dark shadows and placing it where we put it before we smoked out our lower lash line, just because when you do that sometimes you can lose some of the color. And then I added some of that on top of my eye because I wanted it to look like I had liner on, but nothing too harsh. Now I'm going to be going in with my Inglot black gel liner and my Sigma E65 brush and kind of making it look like I have a little bit of liner on. I like to put liner just in my inner corner if I'm not going to be doing a wing, just because when I go in with lashes it looks a little bit better. And with my e.l.f. blush brush, I'm just dusting off that powder I was baking my contour with. And I applied some of the Benefit Highbrow on my waterline as well as Flutter Lashes Intoxicating off camera just because it was difficult to record. And then I'm going in with MAC Spice Lip Pencil. This is one of my favorite lip liners by MAC. It just goes well with so many different nude lipsticks, so I really love this color. And it has kind of a pinky undertone to it, and I'm just shading in my lips with that. And then I'm going in with MAC Cream Cup. Then I realized I wanted the lip to be a little bit more nude than pink, so I went in with some of Dose of Colors Sand just in the center of my lips. And then I went in with Dainty, which is such a pretty color from Anastasia Beverly Hills. If you're not a lip gloss kind of girl, you can skip this step, but I love lip gloss, so I wanted to have a glossy lip for this look. And then I went in with MAC Warm Soul Blush and my Morphe E4 brush. Then for my favorite part, the highlight, I went in with BECCA Opal and my Anastasia A23 brush, and I'm just adding this anywhere on the face where I want to have glow, on the chin, cupid's bow, forehead, nose. I also like to put some of that on my temples lately. I feel like that gives a nice kind of glow to the look. Whenever you tilt your head in certain lighting, it looks really beautiful. And I'm just putting that down the bridge of my nose and also in my inner corners as well. Then, as always, I went in with my MAC Fix Plus, and that's the finished look. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial or like this makeup look, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. That way I can create more of these for you guys. And leave a comment if you have a suggestion for a future video that you'd like to see. I love getting feedback from you all. And please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and to also click on the little notification bell. That way you can be notified anytime I post a new video and not miss out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next tutorial. Bye!